So the big transfer news this morning is that, as I said yesterday in last night's video, we talked about Connor Hazard, who is leaving Celtic as one of our backup goalkeepers. It's understood to be a fee of around about 150,000 has been discussed with Plymouth Argyle. The fact that he hasn't played since 2020 in the first team probably is the right time for them to move on, but I really hope it doesn't turn out to be another sort of David Marshall move. David Marshall went on to have a fantastic career after he left Celtic, and a keeper that I probably think a lot of people would have wished they would have kept just that little bit longer. Let's get to the stock exchange that we spoke about yesterday. The stock exchange, Celtic have enjoyed a strong pitch performance in the season 22-23, the statement said, as having won the domestic treble. In addition, it enjoyed a successful year generating gains from player trading. That would be the trading that we did in December, getting rid of 2 players, selling them on. Celtic now expect earnings of the year end to June 2023 will be significantly higher than previous expectations. They were formed before the conclusion of the end of the season, prior to certain player disposals. The registration, valuations and player trading often have a material influence, and Celtic's financial performance, adding to the trading revenue, it means that the club are in a fantastic position, and they'll put out more results to the mid-September 2023. In 2022, Celtic had a turnover. Now this is where you'll get a lot of people down south saying, it's nothing. And the turnover is actually nothing compared to some of the bigger leagues in the world. But then when you look, keep on watching, because I'm going to talk about a Celtic transfer, and I'm going to look at the sort of financial similarities between the clubs. So in June 2022, Celtic had a turnover of 88.2 million, with the addition of the Champions League money from last year and the fees that were gained from player trading. That could take us back over £100 million turnover. That in itself, putting us in context to the Scottish League, is absolutely fantastic. Our neighbours across the road will be absolutely livid that we've managed to increase our profitability and turnover again. Obviously with the sale of Jota, and that's obviously just added to a position of strength, and the income streams that Celtic have are certainly delivering success to the board and to the players that are on the pitch. Well, they're just doing it anyway. So let's move on from that, and let's talk about Celtic transfers. We also spoke about young Connor going to Plymouth Argyle, but there is one piece of transfer news that's been bubbling away, and are Celtic about to spend £15 million on a player from Young Boys in Switzerland? Excuse me, I clear my throat. The fact that we've already got Marco Tillo, and there's a lot of people raving about Marco, saying that he's going to cause absolute havoc in Scotland. And then we've got Odin that came in also. Also the fact that we've just re-signed a couple of players on longer contracts. You've also got the Kieran Tierney thing bubbling away in the background. Scott McTominay, I don't think that is going to happen. But one move that might happen is the fact that we're looking at Fabian Rieder from Young Boys, and his valuation has absolutely rocketed in the past couple of seasons. Now, when you look at what you could have bought him for a couple of years ago, I mean, if we had went in 2020, you could have got him for 2 million. His valuation in the last year, I mean, even at the end of January 2022, you could have got him for 4 million. His valuation has rocketed to 15 million. Now, when you look at a lot of the other, when you look at the players in the Young Boys squad, they're trading sort of around about the same level that we do. You know, buying in players at a maximum of around about 5 million. They've got a lot of players at 2 million, 2.5 million, the odd player at 6 million. But then they've got this one standout kid, attacking midfield player, that is absolutely skyrocketed. He did play the Champions League last year. Has that made his valuation skyrocket? We'll all agree that he's a fantastic player. He's at the age mould. He's only 21. He looks as if he's going to be fantastic. He bullies that midfield for them. But the fact that his transfer valuation has skyrocketed in the last year, I mean, even In November 2022, you're talking about a 10 million valuation. March this year, it was 12 million. So the fact that it's now been highest market value of 15 million, Celtic are going to have to go out and spend some serious money if they want to get this kid in. But you have to remember, when we talk about the player valuations that we buy someone in, remind you of Ange Postecoglou last year talking about the valuations of players, and he's saying it's all material. If we buy a player in at 6 million, for instance, Jota, and then we sell him for 25 million, you know, the value that we buy the player in, you've got to look at the sell-on value. So we buy Fabian in at 15 million, you're obviously looking to be selling him at 30 odd million plus down the line. So he is at that age range where he can go on to be a player at that value. So tell me in the comments what you think about that. When you look at the other players within their team, I mean, they've got 4 million, 5 million, you know, 700 grand, 600 grand. So they do have quite a varied range bracket, as do Celtic when it comes to it. But it looks as if Celtic could be stepping up the mark. They've had him scouted before the season ended. Could it be the fact that we're about to spend 15 million on a player? Tell me what you think in the comments. On that note, it's just a quick Celtic morning news video. I will be back with one later this afternoon, and then obviously on Sunday we'll be doing our Sunday live, unless there's been another signing this weekend or even tonight. You never know, Celtic might come out and do the Hatate deal and say that Hatate is here until 2027 like his compatriots. So on that note, have a great day, Celtic fans.
Lit. Roll up to the party, roll up to the party.